Welcome to Joy and Gratitude. I'm Queiro, and with my co-host, Beth.
Mercurio, Beth Mercurio. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Joy and Gratitude. Excited to be here again with all of you. Neo, can I jump into a topic that I'm hoping you will get as excited as I am about?
Absolutely.
I,
Um, yeah,
yeah,
I'm just whirling around from where or where is Neo this week, and I'm in wonderful Las Vegas. So give me something. Let's roll the dice.
let's roll the dice. Oh, I love that. Look at that tie to the gambling. Yeah, so it's funny. I have wanted to talk about this topic for a while, and I feel like this is such a beautiful forum to do it. So, what I want to talk about is debunking Jerry Maguire. And I just think about, and I'm probably aging myself. I'm thinking about the Jerry Maguire movie, and it's like, oh, thinking about Tom Cruise and Renee Zellweger and just like what an impactful movie that was. And no one can ever forget the scene, or at least I can't, with the music in the background and the whole scene where it's like, you complete me. And I just remember being like, oh, right, like, right. We all want to feel that way. We want someone to complete us. It was like the most romantic, incredible scene. And it just like stuck in me as this, desire to have someone complete me. And the more that for those of you listening, Neo and I are like holding our hearts and feeling so like loved, and that it's that moment, right, where we feel finally fulfilled, right? Somebody else completes us. And I just, now that I've come this far and I've worked so hard, I'm like, it's total and utter bullshit. Like
Yes.
we don't need some other human to complete us. And I fell for it hook, line, and sinker. And I love the romantic element of it. And I don't want to take away that there's something beautiful about somebody who, new word, compliments you. So I want us to talk about how if we could shift that to like, you compliment me. And if we strive to find humans in our lives, whether it be romantic relationship, friendship, any kind of beautiful, strong, deep connection, that it's really about finding people that compliment you, that lift you up, that make you better. And that we shouldn't be seeking people who make us fulfilled, because that's got to come from inside. So, anyway, let me start with that. But I cannot wait to hear what you think and to talk about this a little bit more today.
Yeah, it's a powerful topic. As you were saying that, I actually went back to sitting down and watching this movie and all the feelings that were, but even then, I knew it was bullshit. And it's bullshit because if you are not complete by yourself, if you have not found your foundation, who you are, no one can even come into your space and complete you, or come into your space and create a true connection because you're lost trying to find yourself. And it brought me back to when I was about 4 or 5. My mother loved chess, and she taught me how to play chess. And what's the number one rule of playing chess?
Oh, God, I
Protect
have
your
no idea.
queen.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, God.
Protect your queen. And the fact of the matter is, the queen is so powerful because the queen has the ability to manage herself across the board. She has the freedom to fly anywhere she wants without any restrictions. And she owns herself and the board. And then the magic is that a pawn can be promoted to a queen. And I always look at that as we're finding ourselves, we're promoting ourselves to that queen. We're promoting ourselves to owning our freedom, owning our power. And then once I'm complete, then I can see someone else as a compliment. I could see someone else as a partner. I could see someone else as someone that's ride or die, that I'm going to have a blast with, that I'm going to cry with, but we're going to lift each other up no matter what. Without that, there's nothing. You got to love you first.
This is it. So I guess when you just nailed that, really the topic is around self-love, right? And self-acceptance. And we talk about that, I think, and we're going to continue to talk about it like over and over and over again, because fundamentally, I think that's what we believe is the most important thing. And we're trying to get people to really understand and create the space to start to self love, to self accept. And it's interesting. I think that one of the things that we can all think about is maybe trying to think about how we look at other people in our lives. And I know for a long time I did look at my partner as somebody who was supposed to make me feel better if I was
Mhm.
upset, right? It was like you're not making me feel better. You're not, well, really honestly, I needed to feel better, and I need to know how to feel better, and I need to know how to identify the things that are really making me feel upset. And sure, can a partner help with that? 100%. Or a friend? Absolutely. But fundamentally, like, we need to identify what that is. And one of the things I've been really realizing about myself, when things get hard, I really don't like sitting in things that are hard. And so I choose to just escape. Like, just get me the hell out of here. Whether that be like even just planning a weekend. Like, if things have been hard, I'll be like, I gotta go somewhere overnight. I gotta go spend a weekend with a friend. I've gotta, and I really realize that part of what I need to figure out is, how do I stay in my space even when things are hard? Like, getting away, sure, maybe that rejuvenates me, and I think there's something really positive about knowing that that's going to rejuvenate me. But it doesn't mean when I come back, the hard stuff isn't all still here. So there's the work of understanding, oh, I choose escapism to get away, to rejuvenate, to be able to come back to the hard stuff. But the hard stuff is still here, and I'm the only one that can identify why it's especially hard, or what is it that's upsetting me the most, or why am I trying to get out of this uncomfortable feeling that I really don't like. And that nobody can actually do that for me, that hard work. And once I know what it is, and I start to really understand, like, why is that upsetting me so much, and why am I feeling this need to get the hell away from this situation, I think that's the goal, is to, like, understand those pieces of who we are, so that we can start to love those pieces, and we can appreciate those pieces and be like, "Hey, okay, this is why you're feeling that way." Maybe it is a young part of us, right? Something that happened a long time ago that still makes us feel a need to escape, or a need to um, scream, yell, be angry, all of those things that we feel. And I do think there's something around starting to accept and blend with our whole selves, and then the beauty is what can layer on top of that. Can people make you feel even better? Sure. Can people make you feel even loved? Absolutely. Even more loved, excuse me. Absolutely. But fundamentally, like, do you love yourself? Do you know? And maybe that's it. Do you even know yourself enough to truly love yourself?
That brings to mind when you talked about, is it something that happened when we were young? I think a lot of us that are in our generation, the Gen X generation, we were brought up in a generation of fix your face, um, hide whatever it is, stop your crying, and keep going. So we were taught, not intentionally, but we were taught to self silence. We were taught not to deal with our emotions and to shift. We're shifters. We just shift to the next thing. And that has a lot to do, because I do the same thing that you're speaking of I need a trip, I need to go to a spa, I need to escape before I deal with the situation. And now I call it my personal pity party before I deal with whatever it is. And the secret is to make the pity party shorter and shorter, right? So that you deal with your situation right away, which is healthy and not healthy. There's sometimes you need a pity party. It's a beautiful thing. Uh, let's just be real. But the self silencing stops us from dealing with our life. And it creates a situation that nothing to see here. I'm moving on. I pile more stuff on my plate than I had. I volunteer. I fix everybody else's life, but I never look at my own life, and I keep my life quiet. And before you could be complete, you have to open that door. You have to go into that secret place and you have to deal with it, scream, talk about it, address it. Because there's going to be a point that it's going to hurt you. And by the way, neuroscience has proven that more and more, the more you keep your pain in, the more you keep your secrets in, the fact is your body will decay and it will show up in different ailments. A lot of um, um, the stuff that people have of allergies and that they have that it's dietary issues, gut issues, they all are aligned with the way that we are treating our brain and car- I can't say the word when you put things in little. Yes,
Compartmentalizing.
I can't say the word when you put things in little packs.
Compartmentalizing.
That's it.
Compartmentalizing. All right, we
That's
got
it.
it. We got it. Oh, it's a hard one.
Phonics is a beautiful thing. But anyway, we put these little boxes and then we close the box and we don't deal with the box and our body still has that wound and that wound is festering and then we start getting sick. So complete me? No, let me complete myself first. Let me trust myself before I can be. And also, I'm not even a good partner or a good compliment to you if I haven't dealt with myself.
Yeah. It's it's so beautiful. There's two things that I need to say. One, I'm hoping you'll let me, because you mentioned this word a couple times, and I'm gonna steal one of your songs if I can for the end of the show. Because I feel like one of the songs has to be Secret Garden by Bruce Springsteen, which is of course like the song that we all know from Jerry Maguire. And one of the reasons that this whole idea has really been sort of like spinning around in me is because if you listen to that song, and I encourage and I ask every listener to listen to Secret Garden, and when they're talking about she, make it be yourself. And there is this incredible beauty if you listen to the song but you shift it to be it's your own secret garden that we all need to go and understand and be available to our own secret garden. And how beautiful if we think that we each have a secret garden. Each one of us as humans has our own secret garden. And absolutely, we hold things in that garden, but we are also the same ones that can water that garden and allow that garden to bloom and to maybe come through outside of us and not just be so secret and to share our gardens with others. But we have to know that we can go there. And the first thing is to start at our own secret garden. So listen to that song because I really do. I really listen to it with this idea of like me, myself, and I. Like that's the song. It's really about myself. And it had a whole new meaning for me. And it really was part of what made me think like we've got to debunk this. This isn't about somebody else. It's about letting yourself in to yourself. And how incredible if we do that. And the other thing that when you were speaking, really popped up for me is the never ending conversation about boundaries, where we talked about this ability for you to sort of understand when you're giving to so many people, right? We grew up that way, but I also think there's a lot of that still today. This idea of sort of people will take what they can from you,
That's
not
right.
even knowingly. They're always going to be willing to have that kind of support and help. And so, where is it where you can say no and be okay with that? And it's funny because you're reminding me, my dad, who is a huge supporter of our podcast, sent this incredible note after listening to one of our podcasts around zooming out and around boundaries, because we bring it up so much because it's such a powerful topic for self-love, for understanding our own value, for understanding our own purpose. Like boundaries is probably the foundation of so many of the things that we talk about on our show. But he sent me this quote, and I'm going to read it now. So excuse me for looking down for those people that can see me. He wrote, this is not his quote, but he sent it to me to share with you, Neo, and say, listen to this. This makes me think of you and Neo, which is adorable. Empathy without boundaries is self destruction. Unconditional love doesn't mean unconditional tolerance. You got to train your boundaries to be stronger than your soft heart and your mind to be stronger than your feelings. Otherwise, you'll be drained. So be kind and take no shit. And I kind of love how that weaves in. And I'll let you, I would love to hear what you think, but it feels incredibly relevant yet again to this conversation of completion starts with self and complement gets on is a layer on top of self.
It only works if you give yourself grace and you're intentional about making sure that those boundaries protect the queen. You got to protect yourself. You have to make yourself a priority. And that's really what everything that was in that beautiful statement that your dad sent us is really talking about. Boundaries are there to let us be the best person that we can be, but also to protect us. And, you know, I think that we often forget that we need to be the guardian of our garden, our secret garden, our space, that we need to own ourselves and take the delicate nature that we give a newborn and the love and the security and give it to ourselves. I think we're so harsh with ourselves, so judgmental. And that stops us from being whole. So, yes, absolutely. When he is finished with kindness, that kindness is not external. It first has to start internal. Yeah, that was powerful.
And when you say that, which is so beautiful, is so be kind to self first and take no shit. And I think that, I will be honest, I struggle with this because we were taught to self silence that when I want to be loving and compassionate, but sometimes to others, and sometimes I know that's not good for me, that the person that's actually going to be hurt the most in that giving space is me. Um, it felt really selfish for a long time to still do it. It was like, well, I have to do this. I have to be giving to everybody else because
Mhm.
like then, the outside world would tell me I'm not loving, I'm not kind, I'm not compassionate. But what I'm slowly learning, and I have to remind myself of this very often. I'm in a situation now where I really have to lean in and say, when you need to protect self, when the queen is being threatened, when your secret garden is calling you, you know it. And in that moment, you have to just trust it and not worry about whether somebody says, I can't believe she didn't do X and I can't believe she didn't do Y. Or, who cares? Because the reality is, if you do it when your body tissues inside doesn't want to and feels for whatever reason that it's not the best move for you, you will not show up as your best self because it will, as you said, like it will leak out in different ways, whether that be some sort of an emotionality, whether that be you're actually sick because you're doing something that is not really good for self. And I think that for me has been the biggest challenge. Um, and I think I just have to keep reminding myself and surround myself with people who say, you know what's best for you. Who the hell cares what anybody else thinks? Like if you're doing what's right by you, then you will show up beautifully and you'll be more compassionate in other ways. Maybe whatever this thing is that you think is the right way to help someone isn't. And just like to trust that your body tells you, your tissues are really, really knowledgeable in sharing with you where you should be and how you should protect and how you should love that self first. And then extend. We talk about that. So this kind of, when we say the word extend, it makes me think of what we keep coming back to, and we can't say enough of it. Self love, secret garden, extend from there in a place of kindness and compassion. And that, I believe, is this idea of compliment. Like you can compliment somebody beautifully if you come from that place of being complete first. It's so powerful when we talk about it like this. It becomes so clear. It reinforces it for me that I want to show up that way, true to self first and compliment after, and how incredible that would feel. if I could continue to do that. And I say it like it's easy. It's hard to start with self and protect self. But I like this idea of a garden that we can water and share and complement and be in community after we've made sure that our secret garden is fed beautifully.
Yeah, and it's incredible how important it is. Yesterday was a perfect example of, for me, I had to literally protect my mind, protect myself with self care. Um, I just was not feeling up to people. I was not peopling yesterday, and I was supposed to go to events, and I didn't. I decided to shut down and just heal myself and rest because that's really what I needed. Even though I was supposed to be going to an event and it was a social event, I just decided, no, I'm not doing it. And that takes a lot because, I'm very regimented when it comes to if I RSVP to something, I want to make sure that I comply. But at the same time, I had to do what was right. And I'm not saying to, default on your commitments, but I'm saying take the time to look at what you need to thrive and figure it out, communicate with those that are around you, but take care of yourself too. Your brain is as important as your body is, and you have to take care of both of them at the same time to be present for others, to be present for yourself. So I woke up this morning, I'm much better, and now I can be present for the commitments that I have, and I'm looking forward to them instead of dreading them because I'm not feeling
See,
well.
yes. So, yes, congratulations you for listening. So, it goes back to listening, right? To knowing what we really truly need. And part of what we can do as a community to support each other is hold judgment. So if you move backwards on a commitment, like, can we not grant the grace to be like that? That's what you needed. So my response to your saying I can't make it is like, go you. I'm so glad you're taking care of yourself. Like, get good rest, do what you need to do. Can't wait to see you soon. Instead of this sort of like, I can't believe Neo didn't show up. Like, wow, like I didn't want to be here and I showed up, right? Look at all the judgment. And I think that's like where we get to support each other is to start actually saying out loud and commending our each other when somebody does actually stand up for what they need to do, is really honest about what they need in that moment, and actually really praise them for it, because that will undo some of our training, right? Around silencing, not really saying it, maybe, being like, and honestly, if someone's judging you, they're just jealous because maybe, like you said, they didn't want to go, but they showed up. So really, that's their own story, right? That's their work to go, wow, if I'm feeling pretty jealous, it's like, well, then why did I come? Maybe I needed to charge my battery and I just didn't listen. I didn't realize like my social battery was low and I need to take care of that so I can show up even more effectively and be more present tomorrow. So part of what I think we can help, and hopefully the audience that's listening, is being true to ourselves first. And then maybe part of the compliment that we're talking about here is to also support each other in those moments when you see somebody making a choice or having to step back from something, a commitment, and they're making a new choice. We have to trust that that new choice is meaningful and purposeful for them, and really praise them for making it and give them that space and graciousness. And I think then maybe it can start to become a little bit more contagious, that we all feel safe, because I know you and I operate that way, right? I trust that if you say to me you need to move or shift something, that you need to move or shift something, and that that's real for you, and that the next time we are together, we're going to be better because we shifted it, and we didn't just show up because we had to and we thought we should and there was some commitment there. That's not going to enable us to be our best selves and show up in connection in the best way. So I would love to invite our guests to play around with that and to support each other when they hold to working it with self-love, working with establishing boundaries, and working with their own secret gardens and putting that first.
Well, one thing I could say, and I also tell our audience this: be very careful in deciding who's in your inner circle. I can tell you that my decision yesterday was honored by my inner circle. Um, and it was honored because they cared about me and they wanted to make sure that I was okay. That was the focus. The focus wasn't she's missing the event. And that has everything to do with who you surround yourself with. Make the decisions to be with people that are uplifting you and you're uplifting them. You know, common warriors are your friends. Those that are taking, always taking, are people that are in need. But you can have small bites of them, but don't spend your time in always giving. You have to be complimented. You have to have an inner circle that does support you and you can support them. And with that, I think it's time to really think about the music. And I, as a Jersey girl, let's go, boss. And definitely, we are going to go with Bruce Springsteen, Secret Garden. But I have another extra song to add, and the song is Find Yourself by Mario Sem and White Ash. And it's a beautiful song that also gives you the moment to say, reflect, take the time to look inside. You are worth it. You deserve to find who you are. So find yourself in our secret garden of the songs for this session. I want to know what the joy, gratitude rocks have to say.
Yeah. Let's go. Okay, here you can hear it. Bag of rocks. Let's see what's today. Today is curious, which I sort of love because I think the whole conversation that we had today was really inviting people to get curious about their own secret garden and what could it look like to love from self first and what does it mean to compliment somebody else. So this idea of you compliment me being really what is most important. And I would love it if we all got a little more curious about that and started to live in a way where we're striving to complement each other, to complete ourselves, feel whole and loved from the inside out, and then complement each other in that space. Curious.
Absolutely. And you can't learn unless you're curious. So invest in learning about who you are, be curious, and flow in joy and gratitude. See you next time.